So let's go ahead and get into the show that I got for y'all today. And this is where I'm starting off. And I've been saying this for the longest. I have been talking about this for the longest. And I could not really dissect whether it's like a specific subset of Black women that date white men. Okay. And then there's a specific subset of Black women that are from African countries. But either way, the foundation's gonna be wrong. The wig is gonna be wrong. Now, African ladies, please don't be upset with me. Y'all have definitely upgraded y'all wig game. Y'all have definitely upgraded y'all wig game in recent years. But it is still stereotypical, these two subgroups of Black women that can never seem to get they wig right. Okay? You should be natural, but you feel like that's not that's not anti-Black enough. Okay? But I've been saying this about Serena Williams. And everybody act like I'm crazy. So to hear another person vocalize it so well, I wanted to share it with y'all. Let's hear what the young lady had to say.
A study on why Serena Williams always looks a goddamn mess. I ain't gonna give her too much because we know Serena Williams has experienced a lot of colorism and anti-Blackness throughout her career. But me saying that she looks a goddamn mess is not rooted in colorism and misogyny. While it may not be constructive, it is a valid critique. It's really the wigs that do it for me. The wigs are always dry. They never really complement her skin tone. Her makeup always looks too damn light for her face. Her plastic surgery is unrecognizable. She got these damn fillers in her face, got her looking like Phaedra Parks. Her wardrobe is always ill-fitted. She never wears anything that complements her body. I'm tired of it. I'm almost positive that she has non-Black people styling her. The people who are styling her do not know how to style dark-skinned Black women. It's a fact. And then it's like, you're rich. Serena, you got way too much fucking money to be out here looking like this. You gotta represent. You gotta represent for the dark-skinned girlies. You've been looking a mess for the last 20 years, and I'm fucking tired of it. I want her to take that goddamn blonde hair out of her head. You're not Beyonce. It's not giving. I want her to go back to her roots and start wearing natural hairstyles. Start wearing braids. You ain't got to wear the beaded braids, but start wearing more braided and more like natural hairstyles. I think that will compliment you a lot more. She needs to get a Black stylist, preferably a Black gay male stylist, and stop trying to look like a white woman. I'm sorry.
Okay. I'm sorry. I agreed with all of that. If you were in my members only live, you saw we discussed a lot of the Met Gala looks as soon as they were popping up on the Instagram. And I do want to pull her look up because baby, it is a no. It is a no. The booty, girl, the black gloves, no. The dress is giving wrinkled, even though I know it's not supposed to. It's way too much under eye concealer. Like, why do you have to look so matted? The wig, yes, the wig is not the color that we need it to be. It's just she has so much good shit to work with that she could have done so much better. Oh no, she's been looking bad ever since she married the white boy. And listen, she's been looking bad ever since she married the white boy. Before that, when she was with Common, and it's crazy, right? You be with these, with Drake, you be with these niggas, you get your heart broken and disrespected on their songs and shit like that. But essentially, you was out here looking good with the T on the end. And then you go to the white people, and we discussed this on the Ooh Ladies First panel, how we feel like it is something linked there, where you feel like you need to have a separation from Blackness. And the aesthetic of Black women is to have the baby hairs laid, okay? To have the shit neat and laid back, okay? If we gonna slick it, bitch, it's gonna be slicked, okay? Especially if you have money. And also, it does feel like you want to whiten up your image for the palatability, the palatability, if I'm saying it right, but just to be more palatable to your husband's white family, friends, co-workers, business partners, and what have you. Right? Especially walking around as Serena Williams, big ass booty. You know what I'm saying? Beautiful Black woman features, wide set nose, high cheekbones. You know what I'm saying? Lips. She's giving you all of the beautiful things that Black women, African descendant women come with. Okay. So it does feel like if I kind of put forth a more, attached to whiteness, separated from my blackness image, that will be more comfortable for me in the life that I'm living now. I don't begrudge her, but that does not mean we can't call it out when we see it. Now, we want to see her sister. Here we are. She looked like she don't necessarily want to be there, but she looks gorgeous. The dress looks gorgeous. Her makeup looks gorgeous. She's matching. Venus, we don't know. Honestly, Venus probably a lesbian, y'all. I don't know if she married to nobody or nothing, but I feel like I don't never see her with a man. And usually when you don't never see somebody with a man is because they with a woman, but they don't want you to know their business because they still trying to make their money. And y'all be out here doing the women wrong, when they be out here trying to make their money. She look good. Her bun is beautiful. Yes, no. Y'all see the difference? I think it's because Venus does not have to be in a white world in the same way. Okay? Yes, no. Oh, she got a white man too? You lying. I've never seen her with a white man. And if she have one, she ain't in it like that. She ain't in it like that. There is a OLFP today, and it is on Niecy Dixon's channel. Okay? Either way, y'all, we love the sisters, okay? Like Queen Latifah for years. Listen. Venus man is white. Okay, girl, we did not know. But she must be one of the ones that can like still retain, their blackness and not feel a way about it. I do feel like there is some truth to that connection because she obviously made this change after marrying and having children with the white guy. You know what I'm saying? And there is something to be said for Black women who date white men, and they do kind of. Your girl was on TikTok. The wig gotta be a little fucked up, and white men don't care about ass, so you ain't gotta worry about that. But just put them titties up. Like, it was hilarious, and I was like, but that is the type. When you look at rich white men, they will always have some slightly disheveled white woman on their arm. Rich white men love a slightly disheveled white woman. You know what I'm saying? Like, think about Kim Kardashian. Kim Kardashian, now that she's in her white woman stage, right? Now that Kim Kardashian is in her white woman stage, she gonna have that waist cinch because white people still want you to be skinny. But she will show up to the award show in her boyfriend's sweater with the wet hair. Hold up, not that, this. And I love this look, y'all. I loved this look. But the hair is not cooked. She is skinnier than she, has been in recent years. And the sweater is supposed to, look, white women get to not give a fuck. White women get to not give a fuck about their looks all the time. They get to have something about them that's disheveled and nobody blinks an eye. They're still the goddess. You know what I'm saying? Black women, on the other hand, historically have had to have every fucking hair in place, or somebody was going to say something about it. With lipstick on it. No, you saw it, right? Okay. Listen, my man white too. And I agree. And listen, that's why I say it ain't nothing wrong with it. It ain't nothing wrong with it. Nobody has to like maintain these, perfectionist rules that Black women have. You know what I'm saying? Or really were forced on Black women. We don't have to, uphold this bullshit. But essentially, I feel like it's still a testament to the experience. You know what I'm saying? It's still something that we're seeing as a way of dealing with these like race relations and these imaginary things that are put on Black and white people, in order to enforce who's valuable and who's not. Okay. But Kim looked good, girl. I was here for that whole look. And speaking of looks, y'all, I guess because we're about to talk about Cardi B as the next story, I'm going to go ahead and pull this up. Girl, I love you, but hell to the no, no, no. Hell to the no, 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 no. And honestly, I feel, I'm trying to see if I can find like just that huge picture that they had of her, because that's her walking. And I did not like the shape of the dress. I guess, since we were doing, fairy tale, fairyland or whatever. Hold up, y'all. Because we were doing that, it was some like evil queen or queen like headdresses going on. And I just want to say that I wasn't feeling it. It's just not for me. You know what I mean? The cone head, Marge Simpson, look, it was not doing it for me. Now look, when she's standing there like this and is giving this over exaggerated hip, I mean, honestly, it's not over exaggerated. Y'all know that that's really probably how much her hips stick out, but it's supposed to be given like the Alice in Wonderland over, overextended body part type of thing, big hip, type thing. Girl, that's what it's supposed to be given. And it's a beautiful editorial look. And that's what the Met Gala is for. But I also feel like I'm supposed to like it, and I don't. I love the green. I love the emerald green. I love the makeup. I love the jewelry. She looks beautiful, but I don't like the look. I just don't. I don't like the shape of the bodice. Um, and I don't like the headpiece. It was just a lot of dress, and that's so beautiful, especially when they all came and laid it out for her. Beautiful. But I think the green one looked better. Where's the green one? I thought she had posted somewhere the green version of that dress, because there was another dress just like this one, a green one. Okay. But yeah, y'all, it wasn't my favorite look of hers. She looks beautiful, but it wasn't my favorite look of hers. Either way, apparently she was on a red carpet and forgot the name of the designer. So here we are.
Make this very clear, right? First thing first, when I was on the carpet, I was very scared because the dress was supposed to be like on a little podium, and I've been practicing how to pose on the podium, but at the carpet I wasn't allowed to use the podium, so I had a lot of things on my mind, and I was being rushed to the front of the line. So when I was getting interviewed, I kind of forgot to pronounce the designer's name, because his name is a little bit complicated. So I was like, damn, how to pronounce his name? Like, my mind was just racing. I think the former director of Vogue, he got offended because I said Asian designer. I said Asian designer because I know that the designer was Asian, but I wasn't sure what nationality the designer was. And I feel like it's offensive if I was to be like, oh, some Chinese designer, or some Korean designer, or some Vietnamese designer, because I feel like, I don't want to guess somebody's national.
Girl, okay, for Black people and Latina people, like those of us over here, you know what I'm saying, that may not. Here's the thing: in America, depending on where you live, you only deal with a certain type of Asian, but all of the Asians are stereotyped collectively through media. But there are different ones. You have your Koreans, you have your Chinese, you have your Vietnamese, you have your Japanese, you have your Cambodian. You know what I'm saying? There are different nationalities for Asian people. It is what it is. So for Black people, when we don't always know what the correct ethnicity is, because we have not been taught to necessarily always be able to tell the subtle differences that make up the physicality of an Asian person, we'll just say Asian because we don't want to be offensive. Unlike some of you motherfuckers back in the day that was calling people Orientals like they was rugs or something. Okay? I hate when people confuse nationality and ethnicity. Nobody's confusing it. Nobody's confusing it though. The people ethnicity and nationality are the same thing sometimes. In this instance, it's the same thing. I hope, you know what I'm saying? Like somebody that is, Vietnamese, they are from Vietnam. You know what I'm saying? Somebody that is Chinese, they are from China. Somebody that's Korean, they are from North or South Korea. You know what I'm saying? And in Asia is the whole of that area. So when she says, I did not know the nationality, meaning I did not know exactly where they were from. But technically in America, the ethnicity would be Asian. Like when people are making a conscious effort to say something because they don't want to say the wrong thing, and you still want to find issue with it, I feel like you just want to make that person out to look bad. You know what I'm saying? I even appreciate her coming to explain, but I think we all know exactly what the fuck she meant.
Nationality mixed up, so I said an Asian designer. So I didn't say that to be offensive or to get your little speedos in a bunch, but I do feel like, as a person that work in fashion, I don't feel like I feel like the designer and my stylist, we work really hard for this theme. So for you to be kind of shady because you feel offended or whatever, it just proves why you're the former director. But I want to make this very clear.
Oh, she shaded him. She shaded him. And here's the thing, our history is different, but Asian Americans are called Asian. Like people call someone who lives in America and their family, they might be first generation Asian American. Yes, the people are called Asian Americans like we are called African Americans. The difference is we don't know where in Africa we come from in order to be able to specify because of the transatlantic slave trade. So because we do not know specifically, unless we get DNA tested, what ethnicity we come, what nationality / ethnicity that we come from, we all just say African American because the reason why your people came here, the people you come from came here was because of the transatlantic slave trade for the most part. Honestly, people who are from Africa that were not descendants of slaves and come and live here should be considered African Americans. But you would be considered a Dominican American or a Japanese American because your family, your lineage comes from another place, but you now live here. That's why I never understood why everybody, wants to, separate themselves from the African American of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just reminds me in the 80s and the early 90s where, I got Indian in my family. And now y'all have like found some new age way of calling yourselves, oh, we're from here. Yeah, baby. We know we're from here. We know. But like 400 years ago, or even maybe, I want to say maybe 500 or 600 years ago, we directly came from a certain place. And I don't understand why, as African Americans, we have to like go through this whole thing of trying to dispel how we got here when none of the other nationalities of people or ethnicities of people that come to America and settle here have to do that. A Chinese American, whether they're first, second, third, fourth generation, is still considered Chinese. You see what I'm saying? In the African American, we are just merely generations being here, but essentially still are African American, even if you have been mixed with other things. Because what do you predominantly show up as? I hate how everybody acts so obtuse about these things. I mean, you can call yourself whatever you want to call yourself, but I'm just saying, like, we identify as Black for a reason, okay? But yeah, she forgot the name. It happens. She apologized. I don't feel like it's that big of a deal. I do feel like whoever was trying to make it a big deal just wanted to cause issue. And she played the shit out of him at the end there. Okay. But, we're going to talk more about the looks from the Met Gala tonight on the Ooh Ladies First panel. I'm sure Niecy will have everything set up for everybody. But with that being said, we're moving on. Okay. Girl, so I saw this. Is it appropriate? Teacher responds to receiving backlash for letting his female students unbraid his hair. Says people wouldn't have a problem with it if he was a female.
Go ahead and stir the pot a little, shall we? Last Friday, 10 minutes before dismissal time, I decided to live stream my students helping me take my hair out. There was quite the discourse in the chat, which had people saying this was inappropriate and other people saying this was completely fine. There was nothing wrong with what I was doing, and people were just making it weird. So of course I had to bring this issue to the big stage. I would like to represent myself in this case, Your Honor, if I may. Number one, for a little context, I had a hair appointment immediately after school and I needed my hair taken out beforehand. I would have taken it out the night before, but that Friday we had a camera crew coming in to shoot a promotional video and I was one of the ones being interviewed. So I had to look presentable, so I didn't take my hair out. I didn't have the time to do it all myself because it would have taken me forever. So naturally I asked about 4 or 5 of my over 100 best friends to assist me in taking my hair out, and they all agreed. Number 2, this was at the end of class. This week we were doing STEM fair presentations. Since it was Friday and all of my students did an excellent job on their STEM fair projects and presentations, I told them if we get one solid presentation in this class, I'll end class a little early and they can have fun and play basketball, darts, or be on their phones or whatever. And during that time, my team would help me take my hair out. A couple of these were students from my class, but others were students from other classes. I wrote all of them a pass at the beginning of the class period, requesting their assistance 10 minutes before dismissal. I told the teachers only send them if all of their work was completed and they had good behavior. They all met the criteria, so 10 minutes before dismissal, they showed up for their job. My next point I'd like to make is if I was a female teacher, those people wouldn't be in the comments saying, oh, this is weird, this is inappropriate. Because me personally, I don't think there's anything weird about this. People are saying, oh, that's too intimate. To me, it's literally just hair. It doesn't have to be weird. Some people have never had cool teachers, and it shows. I personally believe that building authentic relationships with students is paramount in being an
Why
effective
she
teacher.
why she
I
fed
make
the
sure my
ponytail
students
like that?
know and can feel that I care about them beyond the schoolwork and all the stuff that I have to make them do. I take the time to get to know my students outside of academics because caring for the whole child is what's important. Some of these students have been with me since I was a substitute 4 years ago. They see me as a big brother or a father figure, as some of them say. And me, I don't want kids of my own, so all of these kids are literally my children. And in case you're wondering about their parents, most of them follow me on social media and always talk about my videos with their kids. They always tell me that they're so grateful that their kids have someone like me in their life. In my admin, they're well aware of my social media presence and they love my videos. To me, this is just another wholesome moment that I'm having with my kids that I was fortunate enough to catch on film. Since I'm a science teacher, one thing that I teach my students about is symbiosis. Symbiosis deals with the relationships between organisms. The type of relationship that I like to foster in my class is mutualism, or mutualistic relationship, which means both organisms benefit from the exchange.
Right.
So when my students have good behavior, complete all their assignments, and do everything that a scholar is supposed to do, I reward them with downtime and just time to just be a kid, be on their phones, play games, gossip, so on and so forth. My students and I work hard and we play harder. I'm fortunate enough to have students that feel safe and comfortable around me, safe to come to me with their problems, their frustrations. They come to me seeking guidance and wisdom, or come to me simply to chill and hang out
Oh, it's
because
a
they know
frog.
that they have a safe space to be themselves around me. What I strive to do as an educator
No, it's a
is be the teacher I wish I had
lizard.
grown up. I strive to be the teacher that makes my inner child happy, someone that my inner child will be proud of. I want to be the teacher that my students reflect back on 20, 30 years down the line and think like, dang, that teacher I had in middle school, he was the shit. No further questions, Your Honor.
Okay. So I'm gonna stop it right there because he's going on and on and on. So what I'm gonna say, in all honesty, somebody said it's unprofessional. And I was like, I think the way we think about the relationships in business or just the relationships in school, period, are very like prison like, right? Like it's very industrial complex like. So the symbiotic relationship he's referring to, I believe in, and I do feel like it's necessary. And I do think that people really try to separate personal from teaching kids. And I think that that is really difficult to do if you're really trying to be good at it. However, I'm going to say, I don't see a problem with this as long as it never comes out that you were fucking any of these girls. Because essentially, I recognize that you could not really want any of these young girls, but I could also recognize that they would be doing this because they like you. He a nice looking dude. He, look young. He ain't like one of them older teachers with the stomach hanging over the belt and all of that shit. So essentially, as long as he is keeping the relationship to a student teacher and not taking it in any other type of way, then no, I don't really see a problem with it. Like he said, like a lot of the kids are in LEAP right now. You know what I'm saying? So after they finish taking all of these standardized tests that are really, put there to hold them back in some respects, not really teach them anything. And he asked some of the kids to help him take his braids out. I don't see the problem. Okay. I don't. But at the same, because it's not that deep. Like they're in front of everybody. He's on live. Like it's not being done in a way that I feel like makes it inappropriate. I just think that everybody goes to that place in their head because they know that a lot of men like him would fuck those teenage girls. And there are a lot of teenage girls that would want to fuck this old dude, teacher or not. You know what I'm saying? So That is jail, though. They do hair in jail too. Listen, what did I just say? It's very much like an industrial complex, a prison industrial complex. But at the end of the day, is that still like promoted for that, for there to be that type of, no, like it's not. You keep your hands to yourself and all of this shit. I honestly don't think it's that big of a deal. What if your daughter was taking his hair down? I don't. I mean, what do y'all think I'm saying this for? Do you think I'm saying this for shits and giggles, or do you think I'm saying it because I've actually thought about it? I have a niece. If my niece was at the school and she had a cool teacher and they would take, like, because I used to kick it in my teachers' classrooms all the time. I was literally the kid that usually would spend lunch in a teacher's classroom. For real. So a lot of times you would have like these friend-like relationships with your teachers. So it's not always on this level that I think people like to put it on. And I feel like as long as the relationships are not being crossed in any type of inappropriate manner, meaning again, he's not fucking any of the kids, I don't really see the issue. But it takes one allegation. But you can be accused of something anyway. You can be accused of something anyway. I don't think there is any real ill intent behind it. I think he's just used to showing, yeah, like I had cool teachers. Like it's just not that big of a deal. And there were women and men who I believe were fucking the students, and we all knew who they were. And that's not necessarily a relationship that you have with everybody. Is the risk worth it? Is it considered a risk? Is it really considered a risk? Because as you can see, some of us don't really see the issue because we also had cool teachers and we know what it's like to be in a classroom beatboxing and playing cards and shit. There's a level of informality that happens with teachers that get along with their students. So I'm just saying, I understand how people can see an issue with it, but I also really would like for people to stop putting something on it that's not on it. You know what I'm saying? Like it's cool for you to feel like it's inappropriate, and I wouldn't want my daughter to do it. That's perfectly fine. I understand that. But I always want to look at a situation from all sides. And if I'm really looking at the situation, I don't think it would, like, you take out people hair all the time. Like it's just a thing. Like people get their hair braided, you take their hair down. Like this is stuff, they are accusing him now. Are they? I'll wait till I see that. I'll wait till I see that. And then if that's the case, then yeah, it is inappropriate. If you're fucking the kids, yes. The cool teacher was smashing girls in my high school. Oh wow. Oh wow. Yeah, no, I wasn't. My cool teachers were white. Like my cool teachers were white. There was no smashing going on. But I also feel like, if a girl was taking out a uncle's hair or an older cousin's hair, or you know what I'm saying, like men that are around that are like family friends, like do you think it's that big of a deal? You know what I'm saying? Like I just kind of feel like it depends on the relationship that he has with the students. I don't think the act of taking somebody's braids out has sexual connotation. Sorry, I don't. Um And that's cool. If you don't want your kid on live, that's fine. Is he, explained in the lengthy video that he asked for the kids' permission. The parents know that he is a TikToker and he does videos. And honestly, I feel like a lot of times the things that we find issue with are things that are just outside of what we deem acceptable. And why do we feel that way about it? You know what I'm saying? Like you just have to ask yourself these questions sometimes, because it's not always that the situation is so inappropriate. It's what we assign to it based on our filter. His tone on the video was condescending. I mean, I guess, yeah, at some points, I guess it was condescending. It's a no for me. Okay, the cool ones were white too. I'm saying. I also agree that a student knows who is sleeping with the students. I remember. Yeah, no, for real. Unprofessional. Don't want any students taking my hair down. Sorry. Okay. I don't know what y'all apologizing for. That's y'all opinion. Inappropriate does not equal sex alone. But you know that's what everybody like. Okay, so inappropriate doesn't mean sex alone. So in this context, what do you think is happening by the hair being taken down? What's the connotation then? Talk to me. You know why the boys didn't want to. You know why the boys didn't want to? Because if a boy is taking his hair down, it's going to be deemed as gay. Y'all were going to be on live like, the little boy is gay taking the teacher's hair down. A white male teacher was sexting a student at my school. I'm sure. I'm not saying white people don't do it. I'm just telling you that at my school, nobody was trying to fuck with our white teachers. Okay. Maybe you went to a school that had white students. Like Warren Easton didn't have white students like that. 2 or 3. Okay. 4 or 5, maybe. Okay. Y'all don't care enough about children's education to die on this hill of taking his hair. And that's another thing I feel like it depends on the relationship, because I do think it depends on how good of a teacher he is. And if his intentions are good, then I don't feel like this should be like taken as something that we should, oh, this is so inappropriate. Like, okay, cool, fine. But it's just not that deep to me. It's not that deep. Exactly. The boys would have been called gay. So it still goes back to people assuming that act to be intimate and sexual. And it's not. It's not. Taking somebody's braids out is not sexual. Like it's really, really not. Dude got free child labor. I mean, in exchange, for teaching them. Like, you think that's free child labor? You won't get it. Pay everybody $5. Give everybody $5. You think teachers can afford that? Oh my God, you went to Easton Car, the real purple and gold. Is it? Or is it the West Bank purple and gold? Cut it out. Inappropriate in a school setting, inappropriate, it's not educational. Okay, got it. Boys barely want to take their own hair down, so why would they do it for another man? People are always looking for an issue with something. It would be inappropriate if he was like sitting between their legs, but there's another thing I thought of. I'm like, there are ways that this could be that, but it's not. But I do feel, yes, like there is an adultifying of these girls. You know what I'm saying? When it's just really not that deep. It's just not. Time and place for everything. That's why there are rules to respect boundaries. Aha. Most of these folks are not involved in their kids' lives, have not attended not one parent-teacher conference. That's crazy. Doesn't sit right with me. He's not even helping take down his own hair. Just reschedule your hair appointment, dude. What you mean he's not even helping? Like, he got like 5 people to help him do it. Why would he be doing it? And do you know how hard it is to take your own braids out when your hair is that short? He would have to be pulling his head down this way to take his braids out when they have all of these people in his head. Like, that doesn't even make sense. At least he wasn't sleeping with them like the teachers did back in my day. This doesn't seem that deep. And that's what I'm thinking. But I'm also feeling like we don't know what's really going on. But I just would not suppose that from this situation. This is why you need to have smaller class sizes. Parents and teachers need to have close relationships with these kids. We want kids to have no human connections to adults they are with. Yeah, and that's another thing that I'm feeling about this as well. Like, people always sexualize things to the point that people almost cannot even connect with each other on any level whatsoever, because y'all are always putting sex on everything, even when there isn't any sex on it. Shoot, I was in advanced science in middle school, so we did work in 40 instead of 90 minutes. My teacher taught us how to play spades and poker, and we had the highest scores. Good teachers can teach and play. I agree. I can concede that the optics are bad, but what is the real problem besides what it looks like? And that's another thing. The girls can develop crushes on this man. Why blur the lines? I don't know if taking out the hair actually is a blurred line, though, because essentially, what relationship would they form with him in this moment that they did not already have with him, based on how he says that he talks to them and creates a safe space for them? So he's a trusted teacher anyway. Taking his hair out is like the least of it as far as I'm concerned, because if he was actually grooming or creating this relationship with these young girls without any boundaries, it would be present in a whole bunch of other ways, not like this. You know what I'm saying? Like, it would be happening by just the conversation. He could just walk into the room, not really have to say anything, and a young girl could have a crush on him. So I do understand what you mean, though, because that's why I said that's why it could look inappropriate, because at the end of the day, they could have a crush on you, even if that's not the energy you trying to give. But again, that can happen anyway. You know what I'm saying? But I do understand what you mean. How do we know the students didn't offer to help him take his hair down? Well, he said he asked. He said he asked 100 of his students, and a few of them who had finished their work and, everybody was chilling in class anyway, came and helped him take his hair down. Y'all mad about nothing. I see nothing wrong. Agree with you, Bondy. I really don't think it's that big of an issue unless something else comes out later saying that he was doing something else, and then that's really the issue. But the actual act of having some teenage girls unbraid your hair is just not that deep to me. Right. 10 minutes left of school. It's just not that deep to me. I feel like people often over sexualize situations and then blame the people involved because of where their mind has gone in the situation. And I'm gonna just leave it at that. Okay, and we're gonna move on. Before we move on, can y'all do me a favor and support my channel? Y'all know that it's my birthday month, girl. I turned 36 on the 26th, so please support the channel, subscribe, share me with your people, or support in a plethora of ways.
Anywhere you go, give it